Given that p is a positive number and n is a negative number, and the magnitude of p, or the absolute value of p, is greater than the magnitude or the absolute value of n, which of the following expressions has the greatest value? So we need to see which one of these is the largest number. So let's first start with the numerators. So we see that the numerators, we have p minus n and p plus n's. So p minus n and p plus n. Well, we know that p is a positive number and n is a negative number. So that means p minus n is going to be larger than p plus n, because say p is a positive number like 5 and n is a negative number like -3. When we subtract a negative number, the signs cancel out and it's actually positive. So we'll be left with 5 plus 3, whereas if we were just adding a negative number to a positive number, we would be making the number smaller. So 5 minus 3 is 2 and 5 plus 3 is 8. So that means we can rule out the answer choices that have p plus n, because that will always be smaller than p minus n. So we can rule out these three. Now let's look at the answer choices we have left. We have p and n in the denominator. Well, we know that p is a positive number and n is a negative number, but the magnitude of p is greater than n. And when we have a fraction, if we want that fraction to be large, we want the denominator to be small, because numbers with a larger denominator, say 1, 2, are greater, or numbers with smaller denominators are greater than numbers with larger denominators. So ideally we want the smaller number in the denominator. So in this case, since the absolute value of p is greater than n, then that means here, when we take the absolute value of the new denominator here, this will be a larger number than the denominator in having n as the denominator. So that means that f is actually smaller than g. So we can rule out f, because g is going to give us a larger number, because it has p minus n in the numerator, which is subtracting a negative number, so we'll basically be like adding. But in the denominator, we have a smaller number. We have n, which will make our fraction larger than f. So G is the correct answer.